Right, hello, welcome to this video. I'm literally just going to be doing a Q&A on everything remote sales. I put an Instagram poll up the other day. It wasn't the other day, it was actually earlier today, asking people what they want to know about remote sales. We've spoken to over 5,000 people in this space since starting this business. And we get asked the same questions over and over. So I thought it'd just be good to have a video, a place where you can have everything answered at once, from the very basic stuff all the way through. So I'm going to go through each question and then give you a quick answer. If it's helpful, cool. If I didn't answer your question, message me on Instagram. I do these quite a lot. I just don't post them as YouTube videos. So you can have any question answered whenever you want. So, number one, what even is it? Fair enough. I thought it's a big good place to start. So remote sales is, in essence, exactly what it says on the tin. So you are representing a company. So imagine the people that you already follow online. So you've got people like Matt Does Fitness, Tony Robbins, just the big names that you already follow. They will have a service in which they offer that they will charge a price point for. Now, the problem with being an influencer or having a big following, a business owner, whatever, is that you are busy doing other stuff. So you are making content, you are running the business, you are looking after staff, you're doing a lot of stuff that needs your attention as a priority. Now, sales is what makes the business grow, right? So all of these people sell something. Now, in order to sell something, you need to actually have a sales team. So what you do is you work on behalf of these companies, representing their brand and sell their products for them. It's not like a pyramid scheme type setup. It's you are an employee, a contractor of that business, and you are the first impression and the deciding factor on who comes in the business. And you are basically in control of that business generating revenue. So the business owner will have a huge following. They will run ads. They will put their social media, and they will prompt people to want to have a conversation about working or buying a service or product from them. Okay, and this could be anything from fitness coaching, business coaching. It could be software. I literally saw a woman the other day teaching people how to knit, right? And she was doing like $100,000 a month. So there's a business for everything out there. Anything that you can think of, there is a business that sells it. They all have sales teams. And what they do is they represent the company and they sell on behalf. So let's say Matt Does Fitness, for example. Let's say he's selling a fitness program. Let's say it's £3,000. He won't take that call. A closer will take that call. An appointment setter will set up that call, work on behalf of Matt Does Fitness in his Instagram. They will set up that call. The closer will take that call, and then they will earn their commission on that. Now, if you imagine per call, let's say 45 minutes, you could earn 10% commission on every single sale that you make. So on a typical day, you'd probably have 8 calls, maybe 8 slots of 45 minutes. So let's call it 8 hours. 6 people might show up. And if you close 33%, you close 2 people. In that day, if you close 2 people on £3,000 package, you get 10% commission on each one. You've made £600, £300 per deal. And then that varies depending on the price point, how many calls you have, how long the calls are, and the service that you're providing. So remote sales, you're basically a contractor on behalf of businesses, representing their company and being the first impression on the business and helping people make the decision of coming on board with that company. There'll be multiple different barriers that people will have in their mind. Let's say we had a fat person that wants to get in shape. If they don't make the decision because they're scared, I'd argue that's doing them a disservice. So you're helping people make a decision, cross the barrier in their mind, and help them come on board and get to the goal that they want. Only if the company that you represent actually has a legit offer and service that can help these people. So that's what remote sales is. Question 2, what do you sell? I've sort of just covered that, but it could be anything. It could be fitness, it could be software, it could be Airbnb, it could be knitting, like I said about that woman. It could be, I've sold business opportunities, so helping people grow their business. It could literally be anything. When I'm telling people to get into this space, I tend to tell them to pick an industry that they are interested in already, have inherent knowledge about. So if you're into fitness already, pick a fitness brand. Contact fitness companies. They all sell something. How much do you make? So depending on the role, your income can vary massively. So an appointment setter who sets up the appointments can earn anywhere from, the average is 3 to 5K. I know some appointment setters doing 10K. I was earning about 5K a month doing that. And then closing, you get a higher percent commission because it's a harder job, a harder skill set. You can earn, the average is between 5 and 20K per month, let's say. I was doing between 15 and 25K per month when I was a full-time closer. Again, I know closers doing up to 100K per month. It depends on the offer size and the company that you're representing. How do you get paid? The bank transfer. So you're a contractor, so you're not an employee, so you don't have all tax taken off, and it's not PAYE with holidays. You're a contractor, you're a self-employed entity, so you get your pay sent to you as a bank transfer. So you invoice the amount of deals that you've closed, you keep on top of the people that you've brought on, how much they paid, and then therefore work out your commission and send an invoice at the end of the month, and then they bank transfer you how much you are owed. Another question: am I employed? So sort of just covered that, but no, you are a self-employed entity, you are a contractor, you're working on behalf of this business. You could run multiple offers at once. You could work for various people. You could jump from offer to offer. You're not an employed person with holiday benefits and maternity and stuff like that. You are literally a self-employed entity, and you are getting paid into your personal bank account. We always advise having an accountant on board pretty soon, because as soon as you start hitting certain levels of income, it's better to be a limited company and have yourself as a director, so you have tax benefits there. But you have to sort all your own tax out. How much can you realistically make in your first 3 months? So we have a student called Lewis. He left his 9 to 5 the day that he joined, and he landed a role in 9 days. And the first month of him earning, he did £5,300. Now, I wouldn't say that's the average. I'll be very honest with you. We had another guy called Tom who joined 30 days later. He was making 3.5K. So again, depending on the role that you take and how much you work and how hard you work will massively vary your income. First 3 months, I'd say it's pretty comfortable to earn between 2 and 3 grand per month, pretty consistently, but your earning scope is much greater. And as your skill improves and as your experience improves, you can then open doors to much more income very quickly. What is a normal monthly income for a beginner? I've just answered that. So I'd say the 3K mark is probably where you're looking starting out. Once you get to like the first 5K a month, I'd say that took me about 6 months to be earning 5K pretty consistently. But then from 5 to 15, it felt like overnight, just like a compound effect, because you understand things. If you can get to 5K per month, you can get to 15K per month pretty quickly. Next question: do I need a CV? Yes, you do need a CV. There is an application process just like any job. You apply, you send your CV. We have something called a Loom video, so you do like headshot recording. You tell them about yourself. It's like a 60-second snapshot of who you are, what you've done, your experience. It doesn't have to be sales experience for that matter, just your experience overall. And then you get put through to interview processes and stuff like that. We actually build CVs for our students, so we help massively in the CV building process, so we know what hirers want to hear in a CV. Next question: what is the hardest part of remote sales? That's a good question. I'd say the hardest part of remote sales is just being confident in yourself. One of the biggest things that I struggled with, and I know a lot of people do struggle with, is that imposter syndrome of when you get your first 5K month and your friends are still in their job earning 2 or 3, you feel a bit like, oh, this is not what I'm used to. Or if you've not grown up with much money, it sort of weighs on your mind that this is fragile. Now, one of the biggest things that helped me with this is doing more. And I know that's a very easy thing to say, but just being so confident in yourself, proving yourself over and over, working harder than anybody in the room, working harder than anybody in the business, showing that you deserve to be there. It's all inputs. Trust me, the more you do and the harder you work, the more you will get out. And even if that's not immediate, it's a compound effect, like I said. So I've always just outworked my imposter syndrome, but I'd say that's probably the hardest part that I personally struggled with anyway. Next one, this isn't really a question. I'm an introvert. But it's a good point, and I chose to answer it because I am also an introvert. I might not seem like it because I'm sat here making a YouTube video, but I sit at home all day with Mr. Lenny, who's asleep on my lap. I don't really like going out and socialising. I'm not like the loudest person in the room. I sit, and I always thought that might be a disadvantage. I've actually found it be quite advantageous, and the more I've got into this space, the more I've met people, the more I've seen the top performers. They're all weirdos. They're all introverted. No one is a loud person. The art of sales is listening, right? The best thing you can do in sales is listen. The person who talks the most loses the sale, always. So the more you talk, the worse you are. Next question: isn't sales high pressure and stressful? Yes, it is. You have targets, you have expectations, but I'd argue, like I mentioned before, if you're working hard and you're proving yourself and you're showing up, the pressure comes internally. You have internal pressure. And when you have that drive and that hunger to do more, you will set expectations for yourself. And, I don't know, am I boring you? you will put pressure on yourself because it's the right thing to do. So it's good pressure. Stress, yes, again, it's stressful. It depends how you define stress. So I was always stressed about, I'd get in my own way a lot. So when I'd do a lot of self-review, so I'd look internally at my calls, at my performance, and I'd be very critical upon myself. But the way to deal with that is by, again, outworking it. And you'll spot a theme in these answers. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of just proving yesterday's version of yourself that you're not going to let that dictate what happens next. And not taking it personally. People won't close. People will say no. You'll get rejected a lot. It's not a personal thing. You just move on to the next. But the people that I see struggle most are people that take it personally. How do you actually get a job? Is it even a job? I don't know. Like I said, you're a contractor, so you are self-employed. You are supporting the growth of a business, but yes, it is a job in theory. How do you get a job? So it's a lot of, these jobs aren't on Indeed. These jobs aren't on the typical places you find them. So it's a lot of who you know, to be honest with you. But that's one of the reasons I created the brand that I have, Zenith, is because I support in the job finding space. So I actually guarantee jobs for my students. I have a lot of contacts. We work with a recruitment team, and I make sure that every single person that comes on board and learns has a guaranteed job at the end of it. But it is a lot of who you know. Again, this isn't a question. Pyramid scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is you have it's like multi-level marketing, isn't it? Like you're in control of the lead flow. You're in control of you're an affiliate of the business. Here you are literally representing the brand, and you're an employee in a sense of the brand, and you are just doing the job of the company that is needed. So when they sell a service, you are just helping that person that is already interested in the brand make a decision on whether that is the right decision for them. There's no marketing involved. Good question, this next one. Can you do remote sales part-time? Absolutely. So when I first started in sales, I had 3 jobs at the time. I was personal training, I was driving and delivering for Amazon, and I was working in a pub as well. And I was out of the house from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. every single day, and it was rough. But then when I landed the job, I got home and I'd continued working those 3 jobs, and I was working this sales job from 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. So about 2 hours in the evening, and that income started to overtake my other 3 jobs by itself. So all the people that join us and start with us are all in the same boat. You're in a job, you're in a 9 to 5 or shift work or whatever. These companies are global, so there's 24/7 hours available. So let's say in the prime example, you're a 9 to 5, you probably get home, go to the gym, do whatever. You probably be at your laptop ready to work from 7 till 10 or 11 p.m. And you can earn a very good chunk of money doing those 3-4 hours in the evening. Again, this next one's not really a question. I can't handle rejection. Like I said before, you get used to it. It's the more you detach yourself from the outcome of every sale, the less you think about, oh, this person is worth this much commission to me. At the end of the day, you're doing a duty of care to this individual. So if you are helping someone make the decision to finally get in shape, to better their relationship with the kids so they can run around, and they choose to get in their own way, that is nothing to do with them rejecting you. They're rejecting the best version of themselves. They're rejecting the work it takes to get to where they want to be. So as long as you keep the frame of, I'm helping people here, I'm helping people get into the best position that they personally want to be in, you're good. Again, not really a question. It just says scam. Okay. I don't know what to say to that. People call anything a scam these days. Discomfort is a scam. So depends how you look at the world. But sales is the oldest thing in the book. If you think cavemen times, trading sticks for stones, that's my example. Or any job that you have right now involves sales. Any business that operates, that has profit, that has any level of income coming in, involves sales. Just because it's not done in this way doesn't mean it's not sales. So sales is sales at the end of the day. Sales will be around forever. Everything needs to buy and sell. It's supply and demand. It's the oldest trick in the book. So that's why I personally think it's the best skill you can learn is sales, because it's omnipresent. It's in everything. You will always valuable. You will always be an asset if you can sell. I'm bulletproof. And I don't say that to be a dick. I say that because I know now if everything crumbled around me, I'd be able to get a sales job and earn pretty good money very quickly because I have a skill that cannot be taken away from me. Right, last few. So how do you know if it's a good offer? Good question. There's a lot of variables that I look at and we look at as a company to determine whether someone's a good offer. One, do they have other staff? If they already have staff and they already have targets being met and they already have a demand flow, lead flow, then it's a good offer. If they're running ads, it's a good offer usually. If they have good fulfillment, so if they have good reviews, they have good testimonials, it's a good offer. You are supporting the growth of a business, so they will be hiring people based on them needing more sales. So you got to think if they're needing more sales out of desperation, or they're needing more sales because they have the demand, they have the opportunity to help more people. If it's the latter, then it's a good offer. Another good question: what happens if you don't perform? If you don't perform, it's a bit of a nuanced question, because if you don't perform because you're lazy, then you're going to get fired. If you don't perform because of other variables, as long as you're constantly working and trying to improve and trying to adapt the system and trying to help the business get more out of their opportunity, then I think you're still valuable. If it's a fundamental issue with the business and that's causing you to not perform, then it's something that you can bring value to and help grow. If it's just because you can't be asked, then you're gone. Another good question: how many hours do you actually work? So live on calls, as I said, it could be, you could have 8 hours of availability open, 6 people might show up, and you might close 2. So in theory, you've worked 6 hours in that example. Now, a good salesperson will work the rest of the hours. So they will do everything they can to create more lead flow. So they will jump onto an appointment setting. They will help work their lead flow. They will go back to people that they've spoken to in the past. They will, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of outside work that can be done, not just on directly on the call. So hours you actually work, I'd say it's down to what you're willing to put in. Yeah, that's the best answer, I think. And last question, which I will end on: what is your biggest mistake? So my biggest mistake, I'd say, is holding on to an offer, holding on to a position because I'm scared there's not anything else out there. So, and this happens, if you see things internally that you're not quite aligned with, you're not quite comfortable with, or it doesn't quite match your morals, then don't be scared to walk away from something. You are the value here. You are the thing that's bringing, you're needed, right? They need you more than you need them. So I regret not being more vocal in some of the positions I've been in. I regret holding on and hoping that things will improve. I regret trusting the wrong people. I regret trusting the process more than I should have. When you start to see stuff going wrong and you start to see holes and gaps and things that don't quite match, don't be scared to walk away. I'd say that's my biggest regret. So I hope that helps answer some questions that you might have, or give you a bit of an insight into what this whole thing is and how it works from a fundamental level. As I said, my inbox is always open, so please drop me a follow, Instagram, ask me anything that you want. I make quite a lot of content on there regarding all stuff sales and what it can, what life can look like, the good, the bad, the bad, and the ugly. So drop me a follow, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Peace.